This is ESPN Radio 103.7 and 1450. Zach Sako here, and we welcome back on to PA Prep Sports Breakdown, Bald Eagle area football head coach Jesse Nagle. Jesse, we are talking playoffs today. Coach, thanks so much for your time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks again for having me.
This is the most exciting conversation that we are going to have. And as long as Bald Eagle continues, it only gets more intense. But Bald Eagle finishing 7-3 on the season, and we'll get to the game against Purchase Line in just a moment before we preview the district playoffs and what lies ahead for the Eagles. But to start out 0-2 and to finish 7-3 is quite the impressive feat. What went into all of that? How did it come together, and how proud of you of your team that they were able to respond this way?
Really proud. First of all, those kids really bought into understanding, hey, we got to change a couple things, we got to move some people around, and we got to focus more. I think I said earlier that the kids and the coaches maybe expected too much too quick. We made some uncharacteristic mistakes, both as coaches and as players. And, we just refocused, and, kids really bought in, like I said, to what we were doing. And, they came together, and they had a nice run there at the end of the year.
7-3 overall, 5-1 in conference. Clearfield does hold the tiebreaker since they won that head-to-head, and you and I had that. I encourage people to go check out that conversation on YouTube that we have on State College's ESPN Radio, the YouTube page, where we talked about how Clearfield and Bald Eagle don't get the chance to really settle this in the Mountain League. Just had that one game, but there's nothing to really settle anything in conference. You finished the regular season against Purchase Line, a non-conference opponent itself, a 19-0 win. So the defense pitches a shutout, showing how physical and how tough the defense has been all season long. What can they take from this game, particularly the defense, into the postseason now that they've just strung so many quality efforts together?
I think that defensively, we're playing as a team right now, and kids are doing their job and creating, definitely playing physical, I should say, not creating, but playing physical, and creating more of a team tackles and individually after one-on-one. So, I think that defensively right now, the mindset for our kids is understanding that we're in this together, and the more people with the ball, the better.
Bald Eagle area football head coach Jesse Nagle is on the line with us. Coach, the offense performed well, but did have 3 turnovers in the game against Purchase Line. What are you working on in practice so that you can clean up any mistakes before the district playoffs begin?
I think, Purchase Line gave us so many different looks, and they brought a lot of pressure, and we didn't, as staff, we knew they were going to bring pressure, but not that much, or sometimes they brought 7, and, we just barely missed touchdown after touchdown. So, the things that we really focused on so far this week is, picking up that guy for a half second longer, or stepping in a gap, or making that throw a little bit sooner, or that cut a little sooner. Just barely, we barely missed, honestly, numerous touchdowns. And that's credit to Purchase Line. I mean, Purchase Line played hard and physical, but, that score could have easily been 45-0.
And that's good for the fans to understand that this game could have been much more out of reach had it been for some little things. So you feel like your team is that close, or as far as they are prepared for the postseason and ready to go?
Yeah, I think we're never over-prepared. I think that we still have to fix those mistakes. I think that, there was some mistakes that were pretty glaring. I think that there was some PFLs that we gave up that we haven't been giving up that, we got to take care of. And, again, we missed, some different things throughout offensively that we usually have hit the last 4 weeks. But, Purchase Line, like I said, hats off to them. They created those issues for us. But, if we correct them, we're going to focus on correcting them this week. And if we do, then, we should be okay.
The playoffs, the District 6 AA playoff bracket is set for Bald Eagle, and they are taking on Bellwood-Antis. Bellwood-Antis is coming into this game with a couple common foes that you guys face typically every year, Tyrone being one of them to open the season. They lost that game 27-12, and then 42-0, the final game of the season against Penns Valley. That is a team that, of course, you are very familiar with, but the Rams really stuck it to them at the end of the regular season. Do you have any reaction to that, or what might have happened if Bellwood-Antis was maybe saving some things for the game against Bald Eagle? That's just a glaring box score there, if you will.
Yeah, I think, Penns Valley came out. They scored very quickly, and then defensively they scored twice. And Bellwood-Antis is a team that definitely does not like to play from behind. Their first thing they want to do is run the football. So, I think that Penns Valley put them in an awkward situation. They want to run the ball and keep it close and win at the end. So I think that that was a little misleading. When I first saw that score, I was like, wow. And then I watched the film and I realized how it got out of hand by them creating defensive touchdowns, and Miles Brooks broke a couple tackles, went to the house early. So I think once you jump on Bellwood-Antis, I think that's a team, like I said, that it's tough to come from behind. But after, I know you can always say this, but after 28-0, it was a pretty close game. It ended up being, for me, in 3/4, 14-0, and Bellwood-Antis did threaten a couple times. So, I think that there's no question Penns Valley is an excellent football team, and so is Bellwood-Antis. I just think that Bellwood-Antis got, caught from behind too early.
Bald Eagle area football head coach Jesse Nagle is on PA Prep Sports Breakdown here on State College's ESPN Radio. I am Zach Sako. We're talking playoff high school football, and Bellwood-Antis is the first draw in the opening round of districts. Coach, before we move any further with Bellwood-Antis specifically, just what kind of is the layout for districts for Bald Eagle?
So we go Bellwood-Antis. If all goes well this Friday night, then we would take on the winner of Mount Union and Penns Valley. And then after that, unless something crazy happens, I would think Richland or Bishop Guilfoyle would be sitting waiting there at the district finals. Okay, so those are all the teams that could really factor into the district championship, and the winner, they're only taking one. I just want to confirm this for the listening audience, that they're only taking one out of this district bracket into states, and that is the champion, correct? Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so you got to win it all if you want to move on to states. So that's what's on everybody's mind. Now let's go back to the Blue Devils and not look ahead, because the Blue Devils do pose a challenging test. And that first test is the quarterback. He's a senior, and that is Gavin Ridgeway. And I bring him up because not only can he chuck the football, but he's a runner first. Okay, he's the passer, but he's their leading rusher with 832 yards, 3 games over 100 rushing yards, and 10 total touchdowns. How do you contain a dual threat quarterback at this level in high school?
You take away one thing. I think that we're going to take away one of those options and see if he can beat us with the other option. So, our mindset this week is, take away what we feel that he does best, and see if he can beat us with the other part of his game. So that's the game plan so far, and hopefully it works out.
So I imagine the game plan is to not necessarily sell out for the run, but give it a lot of respect, since that's what Bellwood-Antis likes to do.
That could be.
So engage 8, I think it is in the Madden video game, where you send the house. But I don't want you to tip the game plan defensively for the Blue Devils. They're physical, so like on offense, they ground and pound. They're physical. They want to impose their will. It is the same type of defensive philosophy without, again, tipping the hand, showing the game plan. What do you hope to expose on the Blue Devils side of defense?
Well, I think, kind of our motto since week 3 is whatever they give us, we're going to take, or try to take, I should say. If they're tightening the box, and we're going to throw it. If they're going to loosen up, we're going to run it. So, it's so hard for us to see or game plan for teams, because it seems like every year or every game there's a new defense a team puts in for us compared to what they've done to other teams, to try to limit all of our athletes and our quarterback and our running back positions.
Tyrone and Penns Valley have faced this team. Have you gotten any intel from those other squads that you're able to share that you've taken into consideration?
Not Penns Valley, because of course they're waiting in the wings. So I mean, they have not said much. Tyrone, we got their film and things. So I think that in conference, we help each other. But in the same thing. Like I said, Penns Valley's not going to be real helpful right now because they know that we beat up Bellwood-Antis, and we're knocking on their door the following week.
Right, and that's the anticipated matchup. I hope, and nobody's looking ahead. I don't want anybody to kind of get that idea, but that is the matchup that everyone would want to see, especially with the conversations that we've had about settling some of those Mountain League rivalries, and there is a possibility of BEA and Penns Valley in just that in a week. The Blue Devils are a very veteran team. A lot of seniors and juniors, upperclassmen that dominate the defensive side, and most of these kids go both ways, so the same can be said for the offense. I'm not asking specifically about their veterans, but your veterans, Coach. How have the senior leaders, the upperclassmen for Bald Eagle area, just responded throughout the season, and what is the tone that they are setting right now heading into the playoffs?
Well, I think we had, early, maybe week 2 or 3, 4, maybe we had a conversation about the seniors really taking ownership and understanding every week's a playoff week, and nothing has really changed. I think that, we're playing saying, hey, now it's definite that we lose, we go home. So, that mindset of, the expectations all year long was compete for a district title, and we're going to continue to put everything we have out in the field, and the seniors are the ones that are really pushing and driving this, and hopefully it continues.
And Coach, before I let you go, thank you for your time again as always. Bald Eagle area is the higher seed, so they are the designated home team. Is this game at Bald Eagle area, or is this at a neutral site?
Actually, the how AA works, the higher seed gets the home field advantage until district championship. So, yeah, it's at our place.
Oh, perfect. So are you anticipating a rowdy crowd in support of the Eagles on Friday?
I hope so. Hopefully those stands are packed. And we got a YouTube channel that usually eats up about 1,000 views. So I'm hoping that, the people come and then watch it afterwards.
I imagine it'll be an incredible atmosphere. So that is the first round of the District 6 AA playoffs between Bald Eagle and Bellwood-Antis. Kickoffs at 7 at Bald Eagle Area High School. Jesse Nagle, the head football coach of that Bald Eagle area program, joining us here on PA Prep Sports Breakdown on ESPN Radio State College. Thanks again for your time. Best of luck, and I hope that we can have the same conversation next week if all goes well.